Some of the president-elect's advisors have suggested that you should resign. If he asked you to leave, would you go?
No.
Can you follow up on, do you think that legally you're not required to leave?
No.
If he doesn't do what Trump tells him, Trump needs to go to Congress, which he's for 2 years he's got control of, and say, repeal the Federal Reserve Act, or you could just nationalize it.
We saw the fight starting to unfold when Jerome Powell just said no twice. It's like he's not leaving. And as he was saying that, you know, I was thinking, Alex, I've seen videos in the past of the Queen of England when she goes into the old city and she actually bows and kisses the ring of the Lord Mayor of the old city, right? He doesn't kiss her ring because what's the old city? It's where all the banking interests are held, which is where the Federal Reserve came from the Rothschild family dynasty, right? And it's like it's a private corporation. It's not government, right? So when he says no, he's probably got directives from somebody else. It's like, we've got bigger plans here.
Giant stack of news and points and analysis and things that are happening in the economy. So we were getting into the Federal Reserve arrogantly saying, we'll do whatever we want. You know, you can't fire us. But Trump could, and I should, what Ron Paul's always pushed when I promoted, not just audit the Fed, in the Fed, abolish the Fed. What do you think Trump should do policy-wise to bring these bankers to heel?
Well, policy-wise, I think he's definitely on the right track if he can be successful. He doesn't even have to be 100% successful in doing a couple of things. Number one, trading how we pay for all of our expenditures, our debt, our Department of Defense, our raising the debt ceiling, whatever, right? So implementing tariffs, but not just implementing tariffs, you also have to do the flip side of that, and that is eliminate personal income taxes, right? So if foreign countries can now pay for all of our expenses, which is how the founding fathers envisioned it, rather than us as taxpayers paying for it, you don't need the IRS, right? So now you're starting to change the old guard, Alex, and so that's step number one. I think a second ancillary step to that is we've got a new monetary regime starting to play itself out as the dollar is diminishing from being the world's reserve currency. And who knows if there is going to be a world's reserve currency when you go to digital money, because you kind of don't need it when you go to digital money like that. So here's where the Fed might become completely irrelevant by default. And what Trump is doing, and by putting some of the people in key positions like his Treasury, head of the Treasury, the person who's in charge of like some of the crypto type stuff that he's talking about, and some of the business leaders like Elon and Vivek and other people, if we actually go to a digital money standard, the ultimate thing that Trump can do is say, we're going to have competing standards. We're not just going to have a central bank digital currency. No, how about other decentralized blockchain? Like when I say that, people automatically think Bitcoin or XRP or something like that, right? So already XRP is taking the place of banks as we know it and getting rid of SWIFT and bank wires. Bank of America, there's a list. Bank of America, Goldman Sachs, numerous European countries, 300 banks, American Express, Amazon are all using XRP now for cross-border payments instead of the old guard. You send a bank wire through the SWIFT system. It'll be there in a couple hours, but it's going to cost you $40. By doing it this way with XRP, it's like practically free, and it happens in a split second. This is why all these big banks are starting to move. MasterCard is moving towards that system, away from that. So all you have to do is allow other competing type monetary systems and technologies, and the Fed automatically becomes irrelevant. But to get to that point, you have to have people not trust the Fed anymore. I don't know how many people actually do, But this is where Ron Paul has been spot on for decades. It's like, just audit them. Audit them. They don't have what you think that they have in there, right? They're printing money out of thin air. They're buying U.S. treasuries. If you look at the balance sheet, the largest holding that they have is U.S. treasuries because the rest of the world doesn't want them. What kind of a business is that? Where you print money out of thin air to buy something that nobody else wants. That's a toxic investment portfolio, and that's what they have.
Hey, money on way. All see is hunts all day. Top shelf fish saute. Come on in LA. President rolling with the date. Pulling out the foreigns we could race. In and out of state. We cannot relate. I gotta stay laced. She want us to date. I teach you keeping faith. I'ma make her wait.